Hi, this is Mr. Bo from MrBoEnglish.com. We're doing our second video in the Completing the Square lesson. This is Cons Completing the Square Intermediate. You'll remember we learned how to find the constant in the first video. So this time we're going to learn how to put it into square form and set it up to be ready to be solved. Okay, and then our last step in the next video, we'll learn how to solve it exactly. Okay, and really we already learned how to solve it because we learned how to use taking the square root to solve. So we're going to use that method, and we're going to combine them all together. Okay, get my chair ready here. So let's take a look at this practice. Your numbers will probably be different. All right, I'm not going to use the area model. I used that for my last one, but we're not going to do that here because we're going to step away from it. Okay, so you'll remember we looked at this term, the x term, and 10x, and we looked at the coefficient for that. The coefficient is 10, and we divided that coefficient by 2, and then we squared it, so that's 5 squared, and that's 25. So we need to have 25 as our constant, and we have that, so that's lucky. So we're just going to be able to use this as a perfect square. So that's going to be x plus 5. I'm going to use that half over here. Squared equals, and we ended up putting this, not changing anything here, so it's still going to be 0. Okay, so we had the equation over here. We didn't change anything. We didn't add anything. We don't need to modify anything. So 5 goes in the middle and 0 goes over here. For number 2, we're going to do the same thing. X squared minus 14 plus 49 equals 0. We're going to take the coefficient of the x term and divide by 2 and square it, so that's equal to negative 7 squared is equal to 49. So we know our coefficient over here has to be 49, and it's already 49. So we're just going to move it into squared form, and it's minus 7. And we'll still keep the 0. We haven't changed anything. We're going to need to change this sometimes in here. The first couple ones are not very difficult. Okay, so let's go ahead and get a new piece of paper. This one's going to be a little bit longer. All right, so rewrite the function by completing the square. So this is f of x is equal to x squared plus 14x plus 64. And we know we want our coefficient to be this 14 from the x term divided by 2 squared, which is 7 squared, which is 49. So we know we want 49 over here. So an easy way to do that is just add 49. And because we can't just add 49, we also have to subtract 49. And we still have our plus 64 over there. We're going to put this, we're going to put these together, and we're going to make that into our square, and that's x plus 7 squared, and we still have plus 64 and minus 49, and 64 minus 49 is 15. So we have x plus 7 squared plus 15. There's another way to do this. You can think about it as pulling the 49 out of 64, but a lot of my students get a little bit confused. If this ends up being a negative number, or it's off on the other side of off on the other side of an equation, and then sometimes they get a little bit confused about it. If you can do it, great. If you can't do it, you know, add the coefficient that you need and subtract the coefficient, not the coefficient, add the constant that you need and subtract the constant that you need, and then once this is left outside, we won't have any issues. Everything will just work out the way it's supposed to be. So this is 7 and plus, what did we say, 15? 15? Okay. Last one here. So rewrite the function by completing the square. So we have f of x is equal to x squared minus 12x plus 50. So this negative 12x is our coefficient. So the coefficient that we want is negative 12 divided by 2 squared, just like we did in our first video. And that's equal to negative 6 squared, which is 36. So I'm going to add 36 here, and I'm going to subtract 36, because plus 36 minus 36, that's like adding 0, and I didn't really do anything. And then we're going to put those together, and we'll end up with x, and our coefficient is here. Sorry, our constant inside is here. I don't know why I said coefficient. Plus 50 minus 36, and all this is equal to f of x. So in the end, f of x is equal to x minus 6 squared plus 14. And that's what we're going to put up in here. All right, that one is not difficult. The next video is going to step it up a little bit. We're going to have a coefficient up in front here. We're going to have to start multiplying when we pull in and out. It's going to get a little bit more difficult, but I know you guys can do it. So if you have any more questions, get a hold of us at mrboenglish.com. Mr. Bo English รับสอนนักเรียนตั้งแต่ป .3 ขึ้นไปทางอินเทอร์เน็ตในสไตล์ EP ครับผู้สนใจช่วยติดต่อครูแจงหรือไปเว็บไซต์ที่ www.mrboenglish.com